Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is a perfect summer wedding guest makeup look. I attended a wedding for one of my dearest friends this weekend and I thought this look turned out really nicely. It's very soft, very glowy, and just very fresh as well. So I'm starting off with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow pomade in the shade Blonde and just going a bit heavier on the outer part of the eyebrow, and then once there's less product on the brush, then just kind of lightly going through the top little hairs, doing soft strokes to make it look like actual hairs. And at this point I started to get really hot with the filming lights, so I had to put my hair up. But once I've got this done, I'm actually going to be using a foundation primer. This one that I'm using is from SMASHBOX. It's the Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And because I'm going to be out in the sun, this wedding was actually on a boat. It was going to be really hot that day, so I wanted to make sure that I had something to grab onto the foundation to make sure that it stayed on my skin all day. Next up, I'm taking my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, just applying that to some of the areas where I have larger pores, mainly on my cheeks, down my nose, and then kind of around the edges of my nose as well. And then I'm using my RIMMEL foundation and a Real Techniques foundation brush. I love this foundation because I have a lot of redness on my skin, and this is kind of like a full coverage foundation. I use it though kind of like a concealer to conceal the redness, and then I'm just going to take a blending sponge, a damp blending sponge, and kind of blend that all out, and then go in with a actual foundation that's not as pale as this one.
Yeah, they're living the good life. Can't see what he is going through. They're driving fast cars, but they don't know where they're going. In the fast lane, living life without knowing. And he's
The foundation I decided to use today is the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous Liquid Makeup in shade 250, and I'm mixing that on the back of my hand with my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. I'm just using my Real Techniques foundation brush again, mixing it in, and it's going to give the foundation a more luminous glow because this foundation tends to be very matte. Next, I'm taking a bit of concealer and just applying that to my under eye. This one is from Essence. I'm not sure on the exact name, but I will link it down below for you. I actually really like this concealer though because it blends out very, very nicely with the damp blending sponge. It gives a very soft, mattified look for that under eye area and makes it pop. To set the under eye area, I'm just taking a very light powder with my Real Techniques contour brush and lightly going back and forth underneath the under eye, and then doing the same along the bridge of my nose and just any spots where I feel like I'm going to get really oily. After that, I'm going to be taking this MARCELLE bronzing pressed powder. I'm swirling the brush inside of it and then just tapping it off on the edges to make sure that there's not a whole lot of excess product. I like to go kind of around my hairline to make sure that everything blends very nicely, and then sort of softly pat that along my cheeks. Not like a strong contour, but just to give it kind of a sun-kissed look. For the eyes, I wanted to do a really soft cut crease, so I'm using Dusty Rose from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist Palette, and I'm applying that to the upper crease, slowly working my way to the inner corner and just blending it upwards and outwards very softly. I'm going to start working that in even more, just making it a deeper shade here, just to give it a bit more depth. Taking the shade Beigely or Bagley, whatever. Taking that, I'm applying this onto the lid and going really intensely in with this color because it turns out really nicely once there's a lot of product on here. It makes it very bright and very shiny, and I think it's perfect for the look. To deepen up the crease, I'm going to be taking Aubergine and applying that to the same areas where I applied Dusty Rose, but just in a little bit more into the crease and then blending that out.
Yeah, they're living the good life. Can see what he is going through. They're driving fast cars, but they don't know where they're going. In the fast lane, living life without knowing. And he says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
To brighten the eye a little bit, I'm using the same shade I used on the lids to apply an inner corner highlight. That's going to make the eyes open up a little bit and pop. And as per usual, I'm using my MAC lip liner in Soar, and I'm going to apply this actually all over the lips so that if there's any wear during the day, it's not going to wear completely off. I'm using a very creamy lipstick. This one is from Revlon. I can't remember the name, but it's a very nice peachy nude, and that's going to make the lips appear a little bit bigger by having a darker outline on the edges and the outer corners. For a mascara, you definitely want to have a waterproof one, obviously, since you're attending a wedding. So this one, I believe, is from CoverGirl. It's a supersizer one, whichever one Katy Perry was on. But I'm also putting that one onto my lower lashes as well. Going back into Dusty Rose, I'm applying that to the lower lash line and then lightly blending that out. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to, of course, apply a highlight. So I'm using the Becca Pressed Shimmering Skin Perfector, also in Opal, applying a nose highlight. And then I'm going to go kind of in the upper highest parts of my cheekbones in sort of in like a C shape up onto my temples. Finally, I'm just going in with some black liquid liner. This one is from NYC, and just creating a very fine, small wing. And that is pretty much it for this look. If you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.